things this year on their plate, and they were awesome and so very helpful to us with all of that. So on our Finance Commission this year, we had Howard Kittleson, Dave Otterson, Jason Nyberg, Jake Norrid, Samantha Hartman is our chair, and John Eichhoff is our council liaison. So thanks to them, we had a lot of things happen this year. A couple of those that I just want to point out is, as Todd mentioned, we applied for the PPP loan in April and were approved, and that was also forgiven in November. In February, we were able to reduce our loan balance down below the 2.5 million that we were shooting for, and that reduced our interest rate down to 3.875. And we were able to re-amortize and lower monthly payments. In addition, in June, we refinanced our loan and further reduced the interest rate to 3.6%. and reduced our payments to just over $14,000. So that was awesome. Corey Mensig, Pat Segler, and Samantha Hartman were very helpful in helping us evaluate our options and making that decision on which route we should go with that. So that was great. And as Todd mentioned, we revised our budget so that we could more accurately plan for the rest of the year of the crazy 2020. So, and we also did apply for and received some grants from Steele County, and the nursery school was able to get some different grants from the state. If you look at page 6 of the annual report, there's just a couple of things I wanted to highlight on that. Looking at the 2020 actual compared to the revised budget, in that income and expense, that middle section there. Our offering was, once we revised our budget, our offering was pretty consistent throughout the year. At the end of the year, our congregation pulled through, and we exceeded our revised budget by $54,000 in our offering. And that, in addition to that, we did have $22,000 of additional gifts that went straight to our student pantry ministry that was very busy this year. Staff, with our expenses, we're very diligent, very mindful of our revised budget, and overall our expenses were $34 over our revised budget, which was pretty impressive. Overall, we finished ahead of budget, mostly due to the PPP and the grants, but also because of the generous giving of our members and the careful spending of our staff. Page 7 shows the ending balances for our assets and our liabilities. And as you can see, we had a strong cash balance at the end of the year of $876,000, which includes the money that we have in our dedicated funds and for our building fund, money that we've received for that. And we've reduced our loan. Our mortgage is down to $2.4 million. So we wanted to get it below that 2.5 so we could reduce that rate. And then with it being this year, we just sort of stuck with our regular payments and did not do any additional mortgage payments as we had worked so hard on last year. So this year we just kind of wanted to get through the year. So I think that's all I have. If there's any questions on any of that or any of the other stuff that Todd had talked about.
Any questions at all?
Todd, this is Todd Hale.
Hey, Todd.
What about the Saturday night service, which is usually lightly attended anyway? Is that, you thinking of incorporating that once again fairly soon?
Yeah, well, we have these steps set up. I said the next one from here would be going to the 10:45, and then we'd evaluate and look at either 9:30 or the 5 o'clock Saturday night service at that point. Right, we want to hold 9:30 as the live stream because then we'll be doing music at that service. But 5 o'clock right now is in the tentative plans. We're going to be doing evaluation across the board of our numbers and where we're at. You're right, it was always a smaller service. And the question is, at some point, we have to look at what the future of that service is going to be. So we'll be looking at that carefully, but our goal is to be able to bring that back. We just don't really have a timeline yet. It's going to depend on what happens with COVID and the numbers and how quickly people are able to get vaccinated, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, then, Kathy, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I'm going to copy the link for the next vote and put that into the chat, or people can go back to tlcowatonna.org/annual meeting, and we'll be voting on the leadership thing, I believe, next.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the reports. And just a shout out to a request, I guess, to Tanya and Samantha. As the votes come in, could you text me so I have the result of the votes? I've been waiting for that first vote that we did so we can announce that. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to our congregational elections. And Pastor Todd, if you could put the ballot up on the screen so I could bring our people up to date on how we're going to do this.
I just put the link into the chat box.
All right, so if everybody could click on their link either through the chat box or back on the page at Trinity, there is a ballot that you can click on there. It's